Let's go from the Jackson 5 to the Washington 1 of the moment, Nancy Pelosi. The whole CIA flap the last couple of days. What's your take on it? We have different views around this table. What's your take on it?
Well, you know, my take is that I guess I'm less interested in the kind of political back and forth of whether, you know, this provides some sort of cover for Pelosi on the waterboarding, or whether, you know, historically Congress gets the information that it ought to get from the CIA. I mean, you know, we know which position each institution is going to take on that. I really want to know more about exactly what it was that that is at the center of this dispute. The program that the CIA apparently ran since 2001 that they didn't tell anybody about, and until we have an idea of what it is, it's hard to speak to the merits of whether this is something that really should have been disclosed. Obviously, the CIA shouldn't tell Congress every single thing it does. You know, oh, we've got an undercover agent going into, you know, Tehran tonight. I mean, they're not going to tell them that. But I feel kind of adrift, not knowing what the substance of it is.
Hey, Gene, it's Dan. I mean, one of the priorities for Leon Panetta is not only boosting the morale of the CIA and the operatives in the field, but it's also improving relations between the intelligence community and Congress. And what do you think the latest hit here does, this attack on the CIA does to Panetta's overall effort? I mean, I got to believe this is somewhat demoralizing and sort of throws what Panetta's trying to do off course.
It's got to be, and those two imperatives might be mutually exclusive, and, you know, or at least Panetta may have made them mutually exclusive. But this has got to be a blow inside the agency. I mean, he had, as you pointed out, gone out of his way to bond with the agency and to show them that he would be their defender and their advocate on the Hill. And I'm sure there must have been some suspicion given where he came from. And so then this letter saying that, well, you know, we did mislead Congress, that's gotta have people in Langley wondering, okay, what is the deal with this guy?
Donnie.
Gene, you know, you kind of you threw out a thing, well, you know what, if they're sending an operative into Tehran, they're not going to tell the Congress, and you kind of did that as like a half-joking remark. But isn't that the crux of the issue? And Susie was talking about this before, is at the end of the day, everything they do is covert. And there's this insane irony here. And Lawrence was standing up for truth, justice, and the American way. They can't break the law. Of course, nobody wants to break laws. But in reality, it's fundamentally what they do.
They're spies, right? These are spies, not Boy Scouts.
What Donnie's arguing for, I don't know if you realize it, Donnie, but what you're arguing for, and you can go for this, you're arguing for a change in law. What you want the Congress to do is write a law that says
I'm arguing
you
for
don't have to tell us.
No, I'm arguing for law that there are things that we do.
Or you're arguing for breaking the law.
No, I am arguing for reality. I'm arguing for reality that in reality we live in a world, particularly post 9/11, that there are going to be some dirty deeds done to protect us. The Jack Nicholson, you want us on the wall. I don't want to talk. I want to talk about protecting us.
Gene, I know you're inside Washington, and this is all the interest inside the Beltway. How much interest do you think this story actually has outside the Beltway?
I think none. I don't think this resonates outside the Beltway, except perhaps in the sense that Donnie was just talking about. I mean, I think if you asked people, for example, if you threw it out there, how much should the CIA tell Congress about what it's doing, I think that would engage people. But I think fleetingly, frankly, I don't think this is a big issue outside the Beltway. And you know, how much should the CIA tell them? It's a matter of drawing the line. There is a law. There's a law that they have to brief the committees, and there are you know, restrictions and regulations to make sure the stuff doesn't get out, and indeed it works pretty well. You know, stuff doesn't leak out that is terribly damaging to national security, at least in my view. And when it does, if it's truly going to do damage, you know, it doesn't get any further. So but it's a question of where do you draw the line?
Yeah, who draws it?